So we're back. Okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Yes,
Thank you.
I would have loved it.
Okay.
Well, I know you would have loved it, Nathan.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
one. Okay, we got one person. Cool.
Okay.
I'm sure Shade likes it.
So,
Because anything Donkey Kong 64 related is up her alley.
Right.
so as I was playing this game, I discovered that I had like no urge to play with Diddy Kong as my partner. I would just switch between Dixie and Cranky the entire time.
Yeah, Diddy is more useful for going really fast than actual platforming.
Yeah, and the first time I play through the levels, I'm more explorative, so I don't really use him much.
I think I just wanted something new because of playing Returns. So
Oh,
you
already had Diddy there. Huh?
I had my
Yeah.
fill of Diddy from that game.
Yeah, I
That-
think my biggest disappointment with this game overall is the lack of animal buddies. Because I feel that was such a big kind of identity of the DKC franchise compared to other platformers at the time.
I
Yeah.
And
suppose.
they bring back Rambi for, again, like 2-3 levels of the entire game.
I feel like they only bring him back though again because the animal buddies were so iconic of the original games. If that makes sense, like
It really feels like they wanted to focus on the partner mechanic. And to be fair, the design of the game in that sense is very, very focused in a good way. So it's not like we didn't gain anything through that omission, or in exchange for that omission. It's just a shame for people who love that aspect that it's not here.
I mean, in most senses, these games, the modern Donkey Kong countries and the SNES Donkey Kong countries, they're very different. They really don't play like each other at all. Like, they don't control really very similarly. Like, I mean, I guess they might be going for a same general kind of gameplay feel, but Donkey Kong is much heavier, or feels much heavier to me in this game.
No,
than
he's definitely much heavier in the Retro Studios games.
Yeah. And the level design in general is much more movement based. Like the platforms in general move around a whole lot more than they do in the original Donkey Kong Country games, where stuff was more static.
You're just gonna ignore that really easy to get coin right there, huh?
You get more than enough coins in this game.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. It's just like you're going out of your way to get most of the coins that come your way, and then there's this one coin over here that's right next to you, and you ignore it. Okay.
I'm not playing Donkey Kong 64. This isn't an all collectibles run.
I know. It's just you're going.
Every banana collected.
You're going out of your way to collect a lot of these coins, and then there's one like gifted to you on a silver platter, and you're like, nah, I don't need it. I mean
It's a trap.
that one you just grabbed took a lot more effort than the other one would have. The one next to that one took more effort than the other one would have. So
this is the Lewis we all know and love.
it's just, I don't get your priorities, man. You go for the hard ones, but ignore the easy one.
Yeah,
The easy
so that
ones
he
don't
could.
make me feel good.
Yeah, so he can show the game who's boss.
He passed it, no turning back.
Well, this is also post commentary, so there's not much I can do about it anyway.
What if we went back in time and told past Ryan to get his act
There are
together?
much better uses to going back in time.
I'm sure
like
about that.
like what?
Correcting your mistakes.
I can't think of a single thing that we could do by going back in time that would be more important than getting Ryan to get that one banana coin he missed.
Going back in time and showing people of like 2000 the Smash Ultimate Character Select screen. It's fake as shit.
You see, it wouldn't be as funny though, because if you went back to like 2002, like half the characters they wouldn't even have existed by that point. They'd be like, Lucas, who the hell is that? Who gave Ness the Jimmy Neutron haircut? And then they'd just,
What the fuck is a Bayonetta?
What indeed is a Bayonetta?
So back in like the Revolutionary War times, and someone was
That's a
like, "I wish I
bayonet."
had a knife and a gun at the same time," and then Square Enix popped out and was like, "Hey, do I have something for you?"
In all seriousness, though, the bayonet is an actual practical weapon for the time, because guns took so goddamn long to reload that you needed a way to defend yourself if someone got close.
It was
Revolution.
also because you ran out of ammo so fast because they were just iron balls. So
Well, yeah, but you only had like one shot per load.
Revolutionary
So-
War gunfights were so slow they might as well be turn-based.
Yeah, pretty much.
he's not he's not wrong.
I mean, technically they were.
It's like part of the reason we won the Revolutionary War was that our guerrilla warfare just worked so well against the British and their rigid, marching structures and whatnot that.
What do you mean
Yeah.
you're not going to just line up and have us shoot each other? We are civilized Western armies. What are you talking about? And that's why European wars had such high body counts, because they were stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I like this level, but it's giving me like massive flashbacks to Sonic Forces right now, and I realize Sonic Forces came after. So it's not this
you know what?
game's fault.
I don't really see it. Why? What's giving you the Sonic Forces vibes?
The jungle level with the giant snake.
Oh, I forgot that Sonic Forces even had a jungle level.
Yeah, I
So-
forgot about it too until I saw this, because like the jungle level was the same level as every other level. So,
Hey, I got all the puzzle pieces.
God, that game had so much untapped potential. Sega, why do you do this to me?
So yeah, that's the only secret level in World 1.
Do other levels have more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
World 1 is very short in this game. It's kind of alarmingly short.
Yep. I like how like Donkey Kong is like absolutely ripping off Rayman here. By the way. It's like,
So, like you see, I always kind of preferred the feeling of the new Rayman games as opposed to the new Donkey Kong games, even though in concept they're very similar in many ways. Like the control feels different, but the level design and such has a lot of similarities.
I
that
was
you
just
could-
talking about the loading screen though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like even
But, you
some of
know,
the yeah.
You do have a point. They're very similar kind of reboots.
Yeah, I clicked more with the Rayman stuff because Rayman I felt took more risks at least comparing to Returns. Like I haven't played this, so in terms of
Yeah,
talking about this game in particular, I'm talking out my ass.
Well, there was only like one 2D Rayman game in the first place, and that was Rayman 1. And everything after
Which
that
is
was 3D. And
Well, there were some like Game Boy ones, but I don't know.
We
how
do
much
not
people...
we do not talk about Rayman Advance.
the odd thing about Rayman's move back to 2D is that the 3D Rayman games weren't poorly received.
Oh, Rayman 2 is some people's favorite 3D platformers of all time.
Well,
Yeah.
everybody
And-
and their mother could play it. It was on everything.
Yeah, and I will defend Rayman 3. I think it is quite a good game.
I
never
know
got
that
a
the
chance to
Rayman
play
3
Rayman
is.
3.
I know Rayman 3 is divisive. I don't think it's like hated like some other 3D platformer.
A lot of people just find it really boring. Is the thing.
Yeah. Like I don't think it's as disliked as like Pac-Man World 3. I know a lot of people really don't like that game. I don't think like Rayman 3 has quite the same reputation, although again, I'm not entirely sure. Although Pac-Man World 2 I don't really think was all that good either, but then again, I also only played it like however
I like
many-
two. I like two more. I like Pac-Man World 2 a lot.
Pac-Man World
It's a really basic platformer, but it works.
That game kind of made me want to tear my hair out at several places, though. Like, I get why people liked it, but I played it 10 years too late, I think, because I think if I had played it when I was a kid, maybe I would have liked it a lot more, but there was just a lot of stuff in the level design that really irritated me, and having to do like a half an hour of submarine levels got me really, really
Oh, no
annoyed.
one defends the submarine level.
Yeah. Because, like, you literally spend half an hour on that goddamn submarine in a row, and I'm like, maybe if they
Yeah,
had split this up over
the-
the entire game. But
Yeah, I think the GDQ run of that, I forget exactly how long. I think it was like 40-ish minutes. Oh, hi Derek.
Derek's playing Smash.
I forget the total time. I think it was like 40-ish minutes, but the submarine level was almost a quarter of the speed run.
Jeez.
Because there's literally no way to speed it up.
It's so long.
I think people overemphasize the need to make platformers weird and complex mechanically. I think it's something that I notice is like people tend to act like if you haven't done anything really out there with your platformer design, it's not worth playing. But I find some of the best platformers are the most mechanically simple, in my experience.
That's true, but I think there's a difference between. Oh, I hate the levels that put the secret exit right by the normal exit.
So you have to play the level twice.
Yeah.
And also, I was wrong. There are multiple secret exits in this world. Sorry.
Okay. So making your game mechanically simple, is one thing, but it also has to have something that differentiates itself from other games, which is the new Super Mario Brothers problem for me, where it's just like there's nothing that really would make you need to play New Super Mario Brothers U if you'd already played one.
3 world.
Yeah, well, I'd say even like just compared to new Wii, because granted, at least the control is somewhat different, but again, like you don't need to play more than one of those.
If you've played one of those, you've played all of them.
Pretty much, yeah. So, again, that's kind of one thing I appreciate, I guess, about this sequel is that it did try to do some new things mechanically, as opposed to just put in a new power-up that you're not even guaranteed to have all the time,
Yeah, no, there has to be something given to it to make it stand out from the rest. If you're just going to make, I run to the right, I reach the end of the level, maybe I have a roll attack or something, that's not enough to make it stand. Even if you did something really interesting with the visual design, gameplay-wise, you're regressing back to 1985.
I guess my point is that there's too much emphasis on gimmicks and not enough on just building a good level. And I think you need to have the level before you have the gimmicks,
Honestly, I would argue, well, I guess
I'm not saying you can't have both. In fact, if you can pull off both, more power to you because you built a really amazing game. But I think the priority is a little backwards in a lot of people's minds.
I guess it depends on what we're counting as a gimmick, because if we're talking about just something about the general gameplay.
Okay. Super Mario Galaxy having spherical levels and weird gravity stuff is a gimmick. This game having the partner mechanic is a gimmick. Or if your platformer involves all this time travel stuff, that's also a gimmick. But
I think that's less a gimmick and more just a core game mechanic.
Because, if you have an idea that your game is focused around, then you need to have that idea in mind when you're... Because... actually, oh god, there's a game that I'm thinking of that I'm trying to think of where this happens. But like, if you design just a basic ass normal 2D platformer level, and you don't keep in mind what special gameplay thing your characters can do that's supposed to differentiate itself from other games,
I'm not so much talking about the order you design things in as much as the priority.
Okay, let's put it in a different way. The minecart stages in the Donkey Kong games are gimmicks. They only appear like once or twice a game. They're there to break up the pace. It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's good or bad is up to you. But it's a gimmick. That's not what the game is about.
I feel like I'm getting tangled up in language that is being misunderstood.
Semantics are dumb.
I think your definition of gimmick just
a game-wide gimmick as opposed to a level gimmick. Levels are going to have gimmicks. That's what sets them apart as gameplay experiences from each other within the same game.
Not every game needs to reinvent the wheel, though.
That's kind of the thing that I'm talking about. The gimmick of a game is the thing, the big bullet point on the back of the box that the developers included specifically to call attention to the game. Like, when you boil it down, Super Mario Galaxy does well because it's functionally just Mario 64, maybe a bit more linear, but it has the same kind of solidity of design, essentially. It does have the gimmick laid over on top of that colors the experience, but the bottom line is it's a really great 3D platformer. And it doesn't overemphasize its gimmick to the point where it overrules the basics. So the strengths that made it what it is, they're there. And I guess if I were to really draw a comparison that illustrates what I mean, it would probably be if you were to compare the original Ratchet & Clank to one of the very, very recent Ratchet & Clanks. Where the first Ratchet & Clank was, at its core still a platformer. Whereas later Ratchet & Clanks kind of forget to be platformers a lot of the time, and you're just jumping around mashing the shoot button a lot. And both the level design and the combat mechanics kind of suffer for it. If that makes any sense.
I haven't played those, so I wouldn't be able to say. But
I feel that's more of a
Yeah.
genre shift than gimmick, but again, semantics.
Arguably.
Words are hard.
It's, we'd probably have to do, like, a full commentary on the series, and I'd love to do that, but I'm not even going to attempt it until my recording stuff stops causing weird glitches, so I need to replace my computer first. I guess we'll talk about that someday.